Hello and welcome to the Cutie Art Crusaders, episode 12 for September 18th, 2012. That's right, I got the intro correct this time. I usually get the date wrong.
Yay!
But we're airing on September 18th, 2012. My name is Rainbow Plasma. I am the organizer and most of the time editor of the podcast, and I'm joined today by...
Burn01, and I'm the special guest coordinator and sometimes the editor.
And I'm FlutterGuy317, and I'm the art coordinator and handle all the art on the show.
And this week we have a special guest for you guys. We have Joey-DarkMeat with us. Now, some people might not know who Joey-DarkMeat is because he's lesser known, I guess, in the community. We kind of picked up on him early, but would you like to say hello, Joey?
Howdy ho, boys and girls.
So, also, completely forgot this. He's going to kill me for this, but we're missing a certain individual, Pinky Dash, this week because he's unfortunately out at work. And also, I think he's still sick, so it was just a bad combination.
Yeah, work sick, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Everyone send him a nice message on DA or something.
Yeah, so tell him to get
better.
We love you.
So, Joey, great to have you on. We've all been huge fans of your work. Being vector artists, obviously, we kind of are closely related with that. So, thanks for coming on.
We can't be vector artists and not see your work. It's everywhere.
Kind of.
Yes.
My friends hate me for that. They hate ponies and they can't avoid it. You
Really?
can't hide.
So we're obviously very, very connected. I'd like to kind of first explore the connection between sketches and your sketches and our vector work. Your work, in case people don't know, can you kind of describe exactly what you do? I mean, it's kind of hard to describe, but can you describe to people who don't know who you are, like what you do?
What I do. I get up every morning at 6, grab a coffee, and if you're talking about art, what do you want to know about it?
Well,
Sorry, I'm still trying to get over the giggling shit.
Well, he basically what Joey-DarkMeat does is he does kind of they're kind of like sketches. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but they're kind of like sketches, but like finished sketches. They're not.
He's
rough.
a really sketchy guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah, you're a sketchy guy. That's basically it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was more like, what kind of art medium do you usually work with? So like you're by far we know you as a sketch artist, but you have like very clean finished sketches, very unique from anyone else. And then you have a really unique cartoon style that you sketch with as well. So like that's what we know you as, but that's what we're looking for.
I was in Denny's earlier. I had a napkin and a golf pencil. I tried that out for once. Did some wonders. Drew some Pinkie Pie.
The napkin medium, that's always nice.
Yeah. Hey, wherever inspiration strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're definitely a pencil and paper artist then.
I feel kind of limited because that's all I got is this stinking single pencil with 1 grade of lead and some printer paper lying at the side of me, and that's all there is.
Well, you make very good use of it.
Overcompensation is the name of the game.
So how long have you actually been sketching? Because I know you do a lot of sketches of like non-pony material. So have you been sketching for long before you joined the fandom?
It's a good question. I've kind of been drawing like ever since forever, but I only really took it seriously when I started with the ponies. That's kind of why I came here and made a gallery, because I figured I was like lazy and I didn't really put a lot of effort into things. So I'm like, hey, if I make a gallery, maybe that'll motivate me to, actually put some effort, learn new things, try it out. And it kind of helped. Actually, it really helped. And anything that's non-pony you see, if it looks good, I spent a lot of time practicing that too.
Nice.
Yeah, we noticed that you have a real love for the Joker, and some of your Joker sketches are great.
He's kind of like a human Pinkie Pie. He's just really fun to draw.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, all his expressions, like his facial expressions, are really unique too. Do you have like, do you actually use references for that, or is that all out of your own mind?
No, that's just me.
Oh, well, that's definitely really amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people struggle with, is to nail that kind of just personality and expression, and like you have by far some of the most unique personality and expressions in all of your sketches, and I think that's why people love your work so much.
That's funny, because I never thought I used to have that. I hated it. I couldn't find any artist who could do that well that I can just, study or steal off of. And
well, that's what people do with your work, is they'll look at your work and they'll look at your style and expression.
Yeah.
At the least, that's as flattering as can be.
Is there anywhere that you looked as a reference at all, like, or was it just all like supernatural? Like for example, you do the ponies that you do kind of look, what's the word? It's almost like, geez, this is a really bad word to use, but like plump.
Plump. That's
a horrible
what
word
everyone
to use.
says.
Marshmallow.
Flushy.
Fluffy, that's a good word.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, and honestly, I don't see that. Everybody says that about them. And I just really take it from the show. That's mainly, I just study from the show and draw it their way, so I don't know what people think when they say, hey, it looks kind of fleshy. I'm like, huh? That's all I can say is I don't get it.
I think a good example of that, and I'm going to bring this up immediately because I'm in love with it. The Fun Has Been Bubbled one, the one where you obviously
yes.
the Lyra and Bon one that I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you haven't watched the show before, but a couple of episodes I might have had a minor breakdown over seeing that one. But that's hands down like one of my favorite pieces of art. But I think that's a good example of kind of giving that bubbly feel and. I don't know. It's like a combination of shading and the very minor shading that you do. Something just gives it that really round feel.
I just love the expressions in this.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, thanks. I sort of see what you mean. It sort of has like this little inflated look to them. In fact, now that I look at them, they kind of remind me of like little helium balloon ponies.
Yeah.
Balloon animals.
But, I mean, even that aspect is adorable. It helps make your sketches that much more adorable is because they're unique in that way. And, I mean, they're not, like, overly inflated or anything. It's just, it's a unique style. Like, if you look at, what is it, the Derpy shrugging one? Derpy not caring?
Okay, we're going to have to censor that title.
If you look at that example, like, she's very much not inflated. She's actually, her arms are, like, skinnier.
Pretty skinny.
And you notice how her hooves are pointed. And, another sketch, just to throw out an example, if you look at your little gift to Crypt Child, if you look at her front hooves, they're just like, they're really round and they're kind of large, and then her back hooves are just really rounded. But, I mean, it's like the complete opposite of the Derpy sketch, and that's where we kind of get that feel, is the majority of your sketches have the more feeling of, like, the roundness that the Crypt Child sketch does.
I will say one thing is that when anyone points out, sorry, I stutter a lot. When someone points out something, I have no clue. I never intended to do that. If I draw things round or squishy or I don't know, I never intended for that. It just sort of happened. The Crypt one is a nice one, and hi Crypt, how's it going, sweetie? If she's listening. Also, that's another funny thing. A lot of my pictures I toss out. I'm learning that if I put it in, like, I don't know, a safe box, a fireproof for a week, go back to it a week later and realize, hey, it's not so bad, and finish it. Because that's kind of how every picture of mine is. It's a piece of dog turd that I decide to finish up later. That's how it goes.
So how long does it take, like, from the very start to the very end?
Start to finish?
Sketch? Yeah.
Not long. Few hours, I mean. All this, the little skeleton, the little geometry, shapes and bubbles, that stuff you learned in school in art class. If you get that down, the picture is just easy. You just gotta fill in the lines. So it can just take a few hours. I hate doing all the shading and stuff afterwards, though, because that's the longest. But it can be fun because it's also the most detailed, and you get into the zen state of, oh my god, can't stop drawing. And yeah, up and down, it can be fun or annoying, but no more than a few hours.
Yeah. We like to talk about what goes into, like, making art on our show. For you personally, like, what is your step-by-step process of making your sketches? Like you were just mentioning back in art school, like the skeleton. For people who don't know or don't do sketching, what is that process for you?
The actual technical logistics of it, the whole process, well, start with an idea. Kind of got to play around with those for a while because I'm a little dry on them. Just plan it out with the shapes, the little skeletons. I mean, every artist does that. You got to do that. You don't make a house without blueprints.
That's a good point.
Try to get the shapes, expression, whatever you want to portray. Try to get it down as messy and sloppily as possible. And once you got that, and you're solid. At that point, you just gotta fill in lines, start making it solid, and pulling a picture out of it. That's all there is to it.
You managed to supply us with a really awesome example of what is it's like your undersketch or unfinished sketch for Spike when he's I guess he's reading a letter from Celestia to Celestia, I suppose.
Not
but
quite.
like that's a really great example of like a start sketch, because we actually had an episode on sketching and we talked about the importance of an undersketch, and the point I tried to make is that when you're first starting your sketch, you never want to pick your finalized line. You want to choose multiple lines, and because you should never like pick like this is my concrete line that I'm going to choose. So in like a undersketch of your beginning sketch, using multiple lines and giving yourself multiple options. And then when you're finally done, creating that undersketch, choosing your finished finalized line is kind of like your last step, and kind of the step in all of your pieces how you have that really just clean line on all of your finished sketches is like the perfect example of what a finished sketch, I guess, would look like.
That's a pretty good point, actually, on that little Spike when I had to erase some things because it was a little too messy. Just like different arm positions and stuff I had going on there. That was something supposed to be done 2 days ago. I'm horribly lazy.
Oh, I know how you feel.
Well, I think it's really cool because when I looked at a lot of your final products, it's impossible to see any of the, that's not exactly true, but in a lot of your things you can't see, a lot of your undersketch, and it's very clean in a lot of them. I mean, you can see it in some of yours, but for the most part, like, it looks quite finished, almost as if like you did the undersketch and then like kind of like did a new one with just the finalized
like a trace over top. That's kind of funny because like in my older stuff I was inspired by like the really messy sketchy people because I like that stuff, and in my older stuff you can see the lines and whatnot, but apart from looking messy and really dirty sometimes, I kind of got a little worried I wasn't doing as good as I could be, so I decided to start cleaning them up. Only I don't know if I really clean them up these days. I don't even know if I erase the undersketch lines after, or if I'm just doing them so lightly you don't really see them. I don't think about these things.
Yeah, because the scanning process could be like it makes the
page. The scanner does. The scanner can help. Or break.
It's really interesting because like in a lot of your sketches, you can see just like partial undersketch, but then the majority of it is this finished sketch, and you can't really see the undersketch very much, so you do a pretty good job of cleaning
If it's really messy, I'll just go over and generally erase things, but otherwise, yeah, I don't clean up too well.
So you mentioned that you were pencil and paper artist. Is that the reason why we don't see a lot of colored works from you? Is it just the lack of resources or the lack of caring, or what's the reason why everything's in black and white for you?
Both. All I have is a pencil. I can't, if you're talking about vectors or digital, I don't have any of those programs. A tablet or Photoshop or Adobe, I don't have any of that. I've thought of traditional coloring, but scanners are kind of evil that way. They have a tendency to really mess up colors. Like I've tried once or twice pencil crayons, and the scanner will do anything but that. So I figure I'll just stick to the black and white.
Right, you did actually have a drawing, a Rainbow Dash drawing, that was done with felt pen, I believe.
Oh,
and that was one of your only ones with color that's actually on your page.
That was pen though, not pencil crayons, so that's why it came out all right. I was thinking of trying to get into pens. I guess I kind of gave up on that real soon.
Also, just another little thing I noticed in your sketches and just like your technique. A lot of times when you're sketching your ponies or your characters, you'll have a really heavy outline on the outside of the character, and just to give it that really like firm feel of what the outside of the character is, and on the inside features of the hooves, like it'll be a lot softer. And the bubble example of with Lyra and Bonbon, there's that really heavy outline on like the outside the table and then the outside of them, and the malt glass. And then in another example, Hang In There Baby with Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash. You again, like Scootaloo has a really heavy outline on her, and you can see that on her tail and like the outsides of her legs. So if you look at like the insides of her legs, that loses that really heavy outline. And it's just kind of it's a really neat unique style feature.
Oh, thanks.
For a lot of your sketches.
I picked that up from Batman and Deadpool comics. Sometimes in like you got a whole ton of things going on, so artists outline the things in the foreground so they're easier to spot and take out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the show does. They'll put the like the My Little Pony is a show. They'll put the colored outlines on characters and things that they want to be the focus of the background, anything living, and then the foreground, excuse me, and then anything in the background that is like more subtle or they don't want to be the focus, they'll lack strokes on. So there'll be no strokes on anything in the background, but the characters have that really solid, unique outline.
It's a bit different. It's a bit different between the two because here he's like everything has lines and he's just making certain lines thicker. But like
I was just referencing more, how the show creates focus or attention. Because I know I'm a big fan of Deadpool, and I've got a lot of friends who are big fan of Deadpool as well. So they definitely do that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, also, what is Hang in There Baby is also another great example because you can see the undersketches in Scootaloo and Inner Body, and then even in Rainbow Dash, you can kind of catch how you kind of laid out their little skeleton.
Well, the older stuff's a lot messier, so if you're looking for those examples, go farther back.
On the farther back ones, it's almost harder to make out the lines. Just the scanning, I think. Did you actually up a scanner or change the kind of scanning? Because the pencil color actually almost has like a copper feel.
Actually, I think you might be onto something, because my scanner died along my computer. I bought a $30 scanner from Walmart, so somewhere like halfway through, I got a different scanner. And they all kind of do their own little thing. Good luck toying with them.
Yeah, I was just checking back in some of your older pieces in your DeviantArt gallery, and they have one of my favorites back there called Special Delivery, with Derpy just huffing a package.
I'm gonna have to censor that one too.
Fragile as apples. Can't even look at it. I gotta click off it. Great.
Buy some apples. That's great. So you said you were inspired by like Deadpool comics and some other sketch artists. Where do you draw your most inspiration from for like the content or for the drawing style?
Style, I just pick it up wherever I find things that look cool. I try not to browse around because I get jealous of everyone else being so much better than me, but I go around, and if there's a guy who does something cool like the heavy outlining or whatnot, I just sort of try and steal that and incorporate it or try it out. Comics or pictures or TV shows or whatnot.
Is there any in particular, like any that you, other than the Deadpool one, that you've definitely like taken inspiration from?
There's probably been billions. A lot of pony style I just take from a lot of the big guys like Mickey Monster and Mega Sweet and whatnot, Smitty. And just sort of toy around, find ways to work them into me.
Right.
That's how everyone does it.
All right, so the big topic for us, because all four of no, it's not that. All four of us, Pinky Dash can't be here, but we all started, and we are currently all vector artists. So there is a big connection that people might not know about, but there's a very big connection between your art and vector artists. And I'd just like to explain that really quickly. Because your style is so clean and there's nothing else there, it lends itself very well to vectors. So almost every single one of Joey-DarkMeat's sketches has been vectored by one vector artist or another. I feel like it's almost guaranteed now that if you're a vector artist, you have looked and are considered vectoring one of his. For example, my current most popular picture ever made was a vector of your shredding with Tank.
That was a really good one. I love that one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we all do.
So, what's your opinion on vector artists? Like, are you okay with them doing that?
Yeah, do you like that they do that? Or?
Well, of course I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed to it. If I didn't, they'd probably do it anyway. But I got nothing against it. Well, partly because it's sketching, so I imagine it's easy to grab it and play with it and vector it. And it's cool because to be totally lazy, it means I don't have to learn how to color. Tee.
Yeah, no, we love coloring your art. It's actually great. Gives us an excuse to be artistic. Like, it's great.
Yeah, pseudo art.
It's kind of a everybody wins scenario. I mean, everything looks cooler in color. What if I could? If I had the programs.
I think there's a big connection between sketch artists and vector artists, just because I find it weird because I feel like your products are definitely finished products, You know, even though they're black and white, even though they're pencil sketch, they do look like finished products. So I don't want to say that vector artists finish it, but there's something added there that kind of makes it like a team effort almost. It's a really cool environment.
I get what you're saying.
I'm glad to hear that you do approve of it, because I've taken like 3 or 4 and vectored it, and even if you said no, I'd probably still do it. So,
exactly.
Like you said.
You can't stop the people. I just like that no two are ever the same. Sometimes you get people who try out really different things or cool things, and they all look totally different, even if they're all vectors. So that's what I find cool.
Yeah, definitely. There's one individual who's vectors a lot of your sketches, and that's Zoo the Skunk.
Zoo.
Who's actually one of the moderators for our the My Little Pony Vector Club, and like he always puts his own really unique style into your really unique sketches, and it's always awesome to see how you guys will blend together your styles.
I love you, Zoo.
Just an FYI. Zoo would love to hear that. He's awesome. A big fan.
Yeah.
I love his work. He's a cool guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you to talk to him sometime. Yeah, we're very geez, I've almost said we're very big in the vector community, but we're part of a very big vector. We're part of a very big vector community, so we tend to see a lot of your sketches, and like some of the more notable artists have definitely started picking up on yours. And like I said, it's almost become like a requirement to be like, okay, like if you want to be serious, go and get one of Joey-DarkMeat's pictures.
What we find is sad. Sometimes vectors will get more views than your sketches actually will. So we'll constantly be linking people back to like the original source. Like even like when they get up there on Reddit and stuff, like, oh, this is an awesome vector. Just like, well, actually, it's the original sketch by this guy. You should check him out.
Yeah, I always feel kind of embarrassed. Like, for example, when the Shredding with Tank one got like really big, I was like, go see his page, because I feel like you do so much more work than I did there.
Nothing.
I can't complain. You put the work in to color it.
That's true.
Yeah, it was only like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny because like I watch a lot of vector artists on DeviantArt, and whenever like one of your sketches comes out, immediately like within a few hours, like I'll see like 5 people have vectored the sketch. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a big inspiration to the
like
vector community.
7 or 8 of when you made that Rainbow Dash, like kind of standing, looking off to the side. I forget the actual name, but there was like just 7 or 8 just hit the gallery.
Yeah, it was the one where
in
you
all
made, like,
formats. I mean, Inkscape,
Rarity's
butt.
Yeah,
Inkscape. Yeah, there's that one.
You can blame Mickey Monster for that. He's at fault.
Yeah. So I'm looking at your gallery here, and you know, at the very beginning, you uploaded quite a bit on May the 1st, which is a very short time ago. That's what, like 5 months ago. So you know, when did this whole sketching thing start? Was it immediately before you joined DeviantArt, or did you just happen to gather like a big pile of them and went, "Oh, I should put this somewhere"?
Actually, I was totally intimidated by everyone and afraid to have a gallery, so I went to Ponyboro back when it was up, and I just started posting them there for, I guess, until the end of May or so. Apart from them closing down, my friends convinced me to come over to Deviant again, and I just took everything I had over on Ponyboro and put it here, so that's why there's so much in such a small time, because that was actually like 2 or 3 months worth of stuff.
Okay, so you'd been sketching for about 2 or 3 months before May.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool.
Cool. Actually, kind of on that note of posting sketches to DeviantArt, do you post all of your sketches, or do you have like some that you don't end up completing, or that you don't end up liking and not posting them to DeviantArt?
I think I'd be lying if I said yes. You probably won't find any artist who actually posts everything they do. For me, no. If I fail something, I toss it in the trash and you're not going to see it. Apart from fire, kindling. Not too many finished pieces I keep to myself. Mostly just things I fail and toss out, or just practice and sketchy stuff. But pretty much everything I do, I guess, comes up on the gallery, for the most part.
We have a couple of pieces here, and is that all right for us to bring it up and show it?
Totally. I
So
totally
we have
don't
something
recall.
here called the first one is called, I guess you just named it like Pony Practice. It's not. It doesn't really have a name because it hasn't been submitted. But it's just this collection of 5 ponies. Obviously, the one at the very top right of Vile Scratch is your very first one that you posted on DeviantArt, which is really cool to see. But then you've got like the most adorable Derpy ever, and like Squidloo and a couple of other things.
That was probably like my first real pony drawing. Me just trying to find a fun little style.
Well,
That's
you
all there's to say.
seem to get it pretty quickly.
It's not the first pony one I did, though. You should have seen like half a year ago. I had the crappiest stuff you ever saw. Maybe after the show I'll find some of that for you.
Another one of your pieces that you don't have on, I believe you don't have on your DeviantArt gallery is what, Galagals?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? And like that's a really awesome piece. And again, like in that you have a lot of the your unfinished lines or the lines you made before you chose your finalized lines, and like Applejack's hair and
It's a
Rainbow
sketchy
Dash's hair,
sketch.
and you can kind of see, you know, that outline of the skeleton and like Rainbow Dash's legs and head, and especially in Rarity, there's a lot of unfinished, unchosen lines when you're just kind of going through making the messy steps to get to your finalized product.
Mm-hmm.
That and they're adorable.
Aw, thanks. I
Yes,
did that
so
piece
cute.
for my friend Tyler, or TJ as I call him. Hi, Tyler. I've been meaning to finish this one up and post it. I'm just forgetful. Like, where are my pants? Bad.
That's another really unique feature about your sketches is the eyes. The eyes and the nose.
Yes.
It's very unique to you. You have like let's see, Rarity. You have the eyelashes on like the top of her eyes, kind of just
Mhm.
kind of radiating off of there, and then on the side, and then you have on like Applejack's eyes, how it's on like kind of that top portion. It's not what do you want to call it? It's not show accurate, but it's unique to your style because the show accurate would have them just on the right hand side and not on the top. So it's really cool to see that. And then the noses are always really round and always really cute, whereas the show kind of has very small noses and almost hides them at some points when they are at like 3/4 shots, things like that.
I do take most of my drawing tips and stuff for ponies from the show, so yeah, but I guess I play around with making it different too.
Making it adorable.
Trying to.
Well, I mean, there's one before we move on, which is the thing that's
Butts?
probably the most different about your sketches compared to the show, which is your ears. Now,
Is it butts?
was that just quickly was that intentional or not?
Are we talking about the butts?
No, the
Okay,
ears. The ears.
The ears.
No, I just kind of wanted to find a way to make them a little noticeable and cute. I don't really know where I picked that up. Some artists, if anyone comes to mind, that's probably where I took the idea from. Just, you know, if you can make the little things stand out or cuter, then all the more power to your picture.
It's definitely something that stands out in your sketches compared to a lot of other people's. It's very synonymous with your style, and I just wanted to bring that up because it's something that's kind of really stands out with your sketches.
Duh.
Something else that I noticed like that really stands out is how you do gradients with the eyes, which in the show you have the gradient of the eye where it's dark on the top and light on the bottom, and you kind of take that into the sketching world by like spacing out your lines a little bit. It's really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen another sketch artist do that.
Probably because I would have stolen that from them too. I can't say I'm got the eyes down to pat, but yeah, I started trying to shade them in and make them look like real eyes more. Whatever works. That's what it's all about.
Well, do you have like a favorite drawing or like a least favorite drawing that you've ever done that's in your DeviantArt gallery right now?
Ooh. Least favorite, there's quite a few of those. Favorite, the Applejack one I did about like a week ago. That's just her without her hat. Without the hat. That's like one that I drew out of the blue. The best pictures are the ones that you don't really even intend to do anything with. You just sort of like, I'll freaking try this out, sketch up something, and hey, that actually works out pretty well. Those are always the best.
Right. Yeah. the places, the random drawings, the ones where you don't even expect it to come out as good, and so all of a sudden it's like, holy crap.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of on a related note, of like your favorite / least favorite drawing. What was the hardest sketch that you've had? to complete, or like one that took the longest amount of time, or planning.
You've got some really elaborate ones,
like
the Marvel comics and then the Team Fortress 2 comics.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
The hardest ones, for one, would be any of the comics. Well, if you would even call them comics. Any strips I've done take the longest, and for some reason, comics are insanely hard. Anything with backgrounds are just a pain in the butt. That little series with Celestia, I wanted to sleep over at Twilight, so those ones took a while. I'm not used to drawing.
Yeah, those are
I would
amazing.
say a big one that would probably take you a lot of time was the one called A Real Party of One. That was the one with Gilda. And there's just like an incredible amount of shading, and it's like a four-panel comic. So I imagine that one probably took a buttload of time.
That's all it is just some shading with some lines in the background. I'm glad you pointed that one out, if you don't mind me going on a tangent. That was actually supposed to be Trixie.
Oh, really?
Oh, huh.
It did involve a doll, and I already did enough sad stuff for her. And one thing I noticed is, unlike Trixie, it seems like everybody hates poor Gilda. So I wanted to do this and see if it would get any kind of response. The poor little fluffy thing.
It seemed to get a pretty good response. So.
Just misunderstood.
Yeah. So sad. No, another cool concept is in our sketching episode we talk about consistency, and like in your in this concept.
I love the fact that he just burst out. Consistency.
Go on.
I don't know what just happened.
Go ahead. Talk to him about consistency.
What? Anyway, apparently I'm clueless, but one of the things we talked about in our sketching episode was line consistency. And in this comic, it's a great example because all of your lines are going in they're going in a similar fashion in a similar direction, and they kind of create the illusion of what direction the wall is going. And they also swap directions. So in the first panel, it's at that horizontal, and then in the next panel, it's at the opposite horizontal angle. And then in the third panel, it's at the radial shading, where it's all like coming straight from the candle. And then in the last one, again, it's just at a different angle. But and then Gilda's also at like a separate angle. It creates the shading to kind of pop from each other, and it creates a really unique feel.
I'd like to think I had planned that all along.
Yeah. Sometimes you just know it looks like good, and then some artists will try to keep all the lines in the same direction. Some will swap it up, but it's just like sometimes people are more conscious of that. Sometimes people aren't. But even if you aren't conscious of it, at least like
it gives a
knew
feel
somewhat in your mind that it looked good.
It's all about the details and what you can do with them, the little things.
Yeah, another thing we talked about in our sketching episode was having high detail in your foreground and low detail in the background, and how it doesn't take from being a finalized piece. So going back to the "Hang in there, baby" sketch that you did, when you have like a Ponyville in the background, the buildings like don't have a lot of super high amounts of detail, and then the clouds don't have a higher amount of detail, and they're kind of like a little bit softer, and they're not as hard of lines as the Rainbow Dash or Scootaloo are.
I do backgrounds.
Yeah, that was one of your few with the background.
Maybe
that
one
would
question mark?
Probably just me being lazy with the little lightly done backgrounds.
One of the concepts that we got into was it's okay to be lazy as long as you're conscious that they're there.
Well, let's actually go over that concept here, because it's just a refresher for people. During our sketching episode, we brought up something called was it Aurora something? What was it called?
Aurora Sparkle.
Sure, Aurora Sparkle. That sounds like it might be it.
Yes.
And what we had in there was, if Bern, you could find this for Joey-DarkMeat, it'd be great.
Yeah.
What we had was something very, very detailed in the front. In the foreground, we had Twilight Sparkle holding like a staff, and it was very, very detailed, and it drew the eye. And then what you didn't realize was that there was like clouds around her and a sun in the background, and they were not detailed at all, but because your eye was drawn to the focus of the picture, the character, you didn't notice. Your brain kind of filled in the background. And I think this is a good example. The Hang in There Baby one was a very good example of something where the focus of the piece was the two ponies, and the other stuff didn't necessarily have to be perfect or more detailed, because obviously you want to emphasize the characters at the front. So that's kind of the concept we were talking about. There's the Aurora Sparkle one if you want to check that out.
Yoki dokie. Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
I was looking at him before the show. This communicator makes me cry at night.
Is there any other sketch artists that you happen to know? You mentioned Mickey Monster, and you mentioned now Discommunicator, but is there any other ones that you follow closely?
I freaking hate those guys. They're so good at what they do. Apart from them, I don't really know a whole lot of sketch artists. I'm glad they exist because they make me feel like I'm not the only one who still uses a pencil back in the Stone Age. Those two would pretty much be all you would need, though, if you were ever looking for sketch artists, though. Those guys are wonderful.
Well, even though they're awesome at what you do, you still stand out among them because you still have a very unique style that basically, separates you from them as like a really great sketch artist, because your sketches are always so adorable and they're always so unique in how you do them and how you portray the character. Like, Discommunicator is awesome in his amounts of detail, but his stuff is always very, has a darker, like melancholy feel, and then you always have that, lighter, happier, fluffy,
like a pick-me-up kind of feel.
Yeah. Adorable feel.
That's a scanner turned up to 50% brightness.
so many feels.
So, like, even though they're awesome, like, you're still awesome at like how you portray your characters.
Just in a different way.
You're still a great sketch artist, just in by different means.
Oh, I thank you.
I mean, think of it like this. When I see Discommunicator sketches, I go, ooh. And when I see yours, I go, ooh! So it's the same word, but it's definitely a different connotation. I get weird looks when I see your pictures.
I look at mine and go,
there is squeaks that happen.
Yeah. I'm gonna attribute at least half of my declining masculinity to you. At least 50%. So thanks.
I'm glad I can bring down the human race.
Hey, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Alright, so you're obviously a big fan of Team Fortress 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows up in a lot of your sketches, your non-pony and a lot of your crossover ones. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, and maybe also some of other subjects and things or other pieces like Team Fortress 2 that you also like to draw?
Oh, God help me. I can't stop playing that game now. It's funny. Originally, my inspiration came from seeing all this really cool pony Team Fortress 2 crossover Gary mod art on Ponyboro. And I thought it was really cool, and I couldn't do that, by which I mean I was too lazy to just download Gmod and do it myself. So I figured the lazier route would be to just start drawing it myself, which I thought made for a unique little niche of my own. Also, it's fun. I hate to say, but I have a whole ton of projects of that sort and that crossovers that should have been done and started 4 months ago, and I have not been working on them. But I like it also because you spend 3-4 years learning how to draw people, and then you make your career out of drawing ponies. What a freaking waste! So I gotta fuck you somehow.
Right. So
what do you find is the largest difference between drawing people and ponies?
Simplicity. I mean, ponies are made to be simple and cute and a little cartoonish, and people are a lot more detailed. They got all that bone and skin and whatnot. People are a lot harder to do, but then again, ponies are not easy either.
Yeah, that darn bone and skin.
What's your favorite character to sketch?
Ponies are pretty much anything.
Both.
Both.
Anything. I hate to say Joker, or pretty much anyone. I like Team Fortress 2 because it's guys, and sorry ladies, but guys in cartoons are just so much more exaggerated, and it's really fun to draw them for that reason. So, yeah, pretty much anyone who's really silly or fun or unique, like the soldier from TF2 and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love this piece, the silly, shy, and heavy guy piece that you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it kind of shows the contrast between ponies and humans, or just drawing
ponies and Russians.
Drawing them.
Yeah,
it's just so cute.
Yeah, the other one with the heavy is teeny tickle shy. That one.
Oh, that one. I literally, that's one of the only ones I haven't seen from you, and I was just browsing your gallery while you were talking about it, and I went, oh, like, I haven't seen this one before, and it's great as well, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like how the soldier is fun to draw, like all of your soldier sketches are really awesome. I'm trying to find the one in your gallery with the Cutie Art Crusaders, and they're like in the soldier's outfit, like on his head and stuff, and
they're going to the fair.
Like pulled the pin out of his grenade or something. Or no, it's just Sweetie Belle's just in his costume, or in his jacket. Yeah. That's a fair day of Phillies is the name of that one.
Right. Man, we're gonna have a lot of pictures on the screen this episode.
Yeah. And the other awesome soldier ones, like swap over from that one, is juggling Phillies, I believe it is. A fistful of Phillies, excuse me.
A fistful of Phillies.
That's one's awesome.
Is there any more sources that you're planning on doing? Like, is there other stuff that's catch your eye, or are you just stuck on Team Fortress 2 and Joker?
Team Fortress 2 mostly because I have dozens of projects. Okay, maybe like 2 or 3, but they'll take forever to do. With them, like the soldier at the fair, that may or may not be something I am working on currently or not.
Ooh.
But yeah, apart from Team Fortress crossovers and fiddling with Batman universe drawings here and there, what was the question?
do you have anything else planned? Like, do you have other series that you want to draw and maybe combine with ponies, or?
Don't know. I'll have to check my itinerary one day. I do like
first step, make an itinerary. Second step, check it.
Yeah.
What's an itinerary?
First step, figure out what an itinerary is.
First step, Google itinerary.
Yeah, there we go.
Second step, make itinerary.
Yeah. What I find really amazing about these Team Fortress sketches is that the ponies kind of fit really well with your human scale. Like, your style is pretty consistent throughout. So it's not like, there's two separate parts. It all fits together, which I think a lot of artists who try and combine ponies and like people or real life or whatever, kind of it's tough to do because there's different styles, I guess, for the different subjects in the art. But you do a really good job of blending them.
I get what you're saying. To get everything on the same level like that does take some practice and whatnot.
I was gonna say, at least it's not quite. No offense to anyone who makes pictures or movies with Gmod out there, but a good example of how it doesn't blend is with the Gmod stuff. A lot of artistic people, or especially vector artists, who like the show accurate and very close to the show look. Like, those ponies don't look anything like the show. Yeah, they got the colors, but like the faces are all kind of strange, and so it doesn't. It's not really a great blend. If you put ponies together with like something from the show, it's something from the game, like a Team Fortress 2 character or like a Counter-Strike character. It just doesn't kind of blend. Whereas your style kind of blends together a little bit better.
Yeah, it's hard to make a 2D character 3D, but a lot of the a lot of the Gary model artists do a really great job for having to work in that like digital 3D.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's
they do way better job than the toys, the Hasbro's toys do. Like, some of those toys are fucking hideous. They're just they're scary.
Look, how hard is it to get Rainbow Dash's hair right? I'm looking at my blind bag right now. How hard is it?
Yeah, and like the blind bags are just remolds because they're lazy. So like, anyway,
like, we could go on for hours about that, but.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the Gmod ponies.
Well, I mean,
okay. It was nice having you on the show. I mean, just
oh no, going back to like kind of your unique style and like how you just like I started sketching on printer paper. Do you have any like tips that you'd be willing to give to aspiring sketch artists, or maybe just your fans if they want to get started sketching or doing the kind of amazing work that you do?
Is there a better kind of paper than printer paper?
Sketch paper, yes.
Oh, news to me.
Snap, we've got snobbiness up
as
here.
Far, if we like to really delve deep into this just to be a little educational, there's different kinds of paper, and there's actually poundage of paper. So printer paper is like 10 pound, I don't know, just like super thin. But you can get a higher poundage or a thicker kind of paper. And you can also get paper that has different surfaces, so it will react differently with your kind of lead. I like sketching on 80-pound paper, which is super heavy sketch paper. It's what I use in drawing one in college. But as far as paper goes, just know your poundage and then know your kind of paper. But yeah. But other than that, would you have any kind of hints you'd like to give anybody?
Now that you've got your paper all wrong.
I'm kind of sitting here with my mouth open, drooling.
Know your paper by Brindle One.
My whole life has been a lie. Tips. You're gonna hate this. Just practice. I mean, that's all it is. It's all art ever is just the experience and the practice and the time you put into it. The people who are really good kind of spent probably billions of years doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means. That's on you.
Dang it, I'm on the spot again. Yeah. Well, whatever you want to draw, study. Be more specific about what you want to learn. I mean, some people, like, here's the thing. I've been drawing my whole life until, like, the end of high school, and I sucked at it because I just sort of doodled in class because I was bored and whatnot. And after all that time, I still sucked at it. I mean, I could handle a pencil, but that was it. And then when I decided to, start a little gallery and whatnot, I had to learn how to properly draw things. Well, then you got to study them and learn them. Get books on anatomy or learn from other artists or whatnot. And, the more aimful your goals are and, more specific about what you want to learn to draw, the more you'll learn.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. These are great points. Pretty much exactly what we're looking for. Yeah.
I can't believe you swallowed that.
All right. Well, I think that's basically it for us here today. Does anybody have any last questions they want to ask Joey-DarkMeat before he goes? I'm going to take that as a no. So thank you for coming on the show, Joey-DarkMeat. It was a pleasure meeting you. We're all big fans of your work, and you're an awesome guy. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and
your style is cute and adorable.
And before we go, did you have any last things you'd wanted to say or last shout-outs to anybody?
That would be too big a last. Hi, everybody, and Mom included. I hope you're not listening. God. Secrets out.
I know that.
Well, thanks for having me then, guys. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. We just got to do some shout-outs here at the end, so I'm just going to quickly run through them because I need to get going. So, first of all, we have a DeviantArt page. That's cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. That's where you can go and follow along with the vast amount of arts that we put on the show. So, for example, every single bit of art that we've mentioned on the show will be in that favorites gallery, and I'm going to have so much fun listing every single piece of your art in that favorites gallery. So you can go there and check it out and follow along, and that would be a great way to do that. We also have an email, so cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. That's where you can send in questions, comments, and other art pieces if you'd like them to be on the show. So feel free to send us stuff there at that email. We have a Twitter and a Facebook, so the Twitter is @CutieArtCrusade, and you can go there for up-to-the-minute updates, and I mention when we're going to have the live stream and stuff, so feel free to follow us there. And we also have a Facebook, Cutie Art Crusaders. We've actually been getting a lot of followers recently. Yep. My phone's been going off like crazy. So thumbs up to the people who've actually liked us on Facebook. You guys are awesome. Also, I want to add a new shout-out, which is something that we're going to be doing weekly, which is a little shout-out to the person who makes the background music of our podcast. His name is the Percussionist Brony. That's youtube.com/thepercussionistbrony. It'll be on the screen if I get it wrong. Like, give me a break. We're gonna try this out for the first week. So.
Yep, it was also there last week.
Yeah. So hopefully, if we keep shouting him out, then he will keep making us awesome background music that we can keep using.
It is pretty amazing. Yep. One more thing. We do have a theme for next week, and it is weather. So if you guys want to send in any art that relates to weather, send it into the email, and we'll take a look at it.
All right. Well, I think that's basically it. Again, thanks for coming on the show, Joey.
Mm-hmm. You never asked if I was a boy or girl or not.
Well, we know Rainbow Plasma's a girl.
Well, I was gonna ask you on a date later, so I'm really hoping for one specific answer.
Oh.
Just kidding. Anyways, on that extremely awkward and
one more random shout out. I actually got a compliment for random nerdy insertions of knowledge and random junk. If you have anything artistic that you'd like to know or any questions, make sure to send them into our email as well, and I'll try to give you the most educated answer that I can.
Who's encouraging Burns rants? Who's doing this? I need a name so that I can go and encourage him not to encourage you to rant.
We actually love you.
So on that extremely awkward note, we're going to end the podcast here. So without further ado, my name is Rainbow Plasma.
I'm Burn01.
I'm Flutterguy317.
And I'm Joey-DarkMeat.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Toodles.